Well, I picked up a Sig Legion today, and I haven't shot it or anything, but this is my just my initial impressions. I did buy it used, mostly because they want too much for them new, and I got a really good deal on this one. I bought it for a lot less than what they cost, and the guy threw in several extra magazines. He had 5 total magazines, a couple of holsters, Black Hawk, and some, I don't know who makes it, some kind of a pretty tight fitting holster. I looked at the gun. I love the gun for what it is. I'm not going to complain. I haven't shot it, of course, but it's a nice piece. He gave me the book, and I think he already had joined that Legion thing, so I can't join that whole elitist group, whatever. Got the lock, the sticker, and all that junk. The first thing that I noticed is this is that egg crate looking Legion case. It's raining outside. When I got out of the truck, rain hit it, and of course it soaked right in. So this thing is not waterproof. And if water gets into the case, it's going to be pretty much locked in the case. So if I was you, I would probably get some boot spray or tent spray, and if you're going to use this egg crate case, I'd probably spray it, make it waterproof. Second thing is with this case, well, it's a carry case. It's, so you can haul your gun to the range or whatever. Put a damn handle on it. I mean, otherwise you just have to kind of just carry it with your hands like this. I mean, just a simple handle. It's not going to be that difficult to throw a handle on the thing. So there's no handle on it. That's kind of dumb. Not quite sure what the challenge coin's for outside of just to say that you have one. This one's chambered in 357 Sig. I'm a huge 357 Sig fan. It's actually the reason I bought this gun. That's a whole nother video. But in a nutshell, I'm going to end up replacing some guns. Sometimes you just want to shake some things up. I actually have another 357 Sig I'll probably end up selling. Maybe I don't really need 2 of them. But I've got the M&P full-size or service model. Night sights, 4 high-capacity magazines. I've put a lot of rounds through this gun. It's actually in great shape. There's no marks on it. It's been in holsters and in my truck and everywhere else. But that's not really about my M&P. It's just I really want to talk about this Legion. The first thing that I've kind of noticed, and I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work out. The one thing that I noticed is this new PVD finish. I don't know what it is, but it looks, you're not going to really be able to see it on the camera very, very well, but it looks a smidgen blotchy. There's a few little marks in there where it's been in holsters and such like that, but it's with the naked eye, it's hard to tell it. There's some dirt in my lens, but the finish is a little blotchy. And of course, it's already showing wear from the holster, like right there. So I'm not 100% sure about this finish. PVD or whatever it's called. I do love the sights, by the way. The sights quite nice. Night sights, but draws more attention to the front. Of course, it's got the decock, and the grips actually feel kind of nice. It's a smidgen bulky. It's not. It's for 12 rounds. I would thought this gun would have felt smaller in the hand than my M&P. This one doesn't feel as bulky in the hand, and this gun has been living in a Black Hawk holster, which are kind of rough on finishes. The Smith & Wesson's got a melanite finish, and there ain't a mark on it. It's perfect. There's a slight bit of mark right there in front of the hood on the slide itself. That's just where it contacts. Of course, you got the wear on the hood from recoil, but I'm going to have to go out on a limb here, considering I've had this gun 8 years and I've used it and I've shot quite a few rounds to it, and it's got no wear on it from Black Hawk holster, and this one's already, and this gun ain't but a year old. I'm kind of weary about this finish. Technically it's not ceramic like a Cerakoting. I do have Cerakoted rifles, but the rifles don't go in holsters. They, you put them in a case, you haul them out in the field, or they lay in the truck bed or back seat of the truck or whatever. I don't have any Cerakote guns. All my guns are either polymer and melanite, because I have on several M&Ps, or they're blued. You know, of course, the blued guns wear with holster. You get some shiny marks on them where it wears the blue down. I was expecting this maybe to be a little tougher. I don't think it's going to be that tough. As for the rest of the gun, the trigger, the feel, the fit and feel of it and everything, it's exceptional. I like it. I haven't, like I said, I haven't shot it yet, but trying to get some light on this thing. I haven't shot it yet, but it does feel good in the hand. I guess I'll do more of an actual review of the gun whenever I get a chance to put some rounds to it. I like it. It's nice. It's my first Sig. Never owned a Sig before, and so I kind of went overboard and bought a kind of a high dollar fancy one. I do want to look at one thing. The Sig in 357 Sig holds 12 rounds. That's a 12 round magazine. The M&P holds 15 rounds. There's not that much difference in height. So let me get the back shot view. That'll make a little better sense. That's not a 3 round difference in height. Now, considering that the grip on the Sig Legion is more bulky, I figured maybe the magazine was wider. It's not. They're the same width. They're almost the same height. So I'm kind of curious, how did Smith & Wesson get 15 in this magazine and Sig can only get 12 in this one? It's damn near the same size magazine. So maybe one of you Sig guys can answer that for me. So I would expect with that size mag, I would at least get 13 out of it, not 12. So this is 12 plus 1, this is 15 plus 1. So that, and they're the same width. So your guess is as good as mine in regards to why the Sig only holds, there they are side by side, back to back rather, they're the same width. So I'm not quite sure why Sig couldn't manage to get at least 13 rounds. Should have been able to get close to 15 rounds out of that. So anyway, maybe they did that to keep the weight down because this is a aluminum frame while the M&P is of course polymer. So there is definitely a weight difference between the two. That does kind of help with a couple different things. You know, the weight of the Sig is going to of course keep the recoil down, especially with the slightly obnoxious round like a 357 Sig, where, you know, this one, the first bunch of rounds it's nice, it's fine, but as the magazine empties, the weight leaves the gun, and so the latter, your last 3 or 4 rounds in this one, you start to feel it a little bit more because the gun gets really light as you empty the magazine. This one is a much heavier gun. I think it's like 6 ounces heavier if I'm not mistaken. You might have to double check me on that one. So that's going to help with the recoil, or mitigate the recoil. These guns are supposed to be about the same length, but they definitely feel like they're in 2 different worlds. I'm going to line the chambers up and try to get an overall. It's close enough the same in the back. It's about a 1/2 inch shorter in the front. The Sig is a smidgen wider than the M&P. It's also, it's kind of odd, it feels shorter, but it's not really shorter. Like I said, the magazines are almost the same length, but when you grab this one, you can feel your pinky riding that, the lip on the magazine. This one here, it sits in that little groove. So while you think the grip is longer on this one, judging by the fact that magazines are the same height basically, it's not. It's, if you look at the distance between the bottom of the slide or the bore axis down, it's a lot shorter on the M&P versus the Sig. So what they've done is the bulk of the frame has ate up some of your grip room. So if this was put on a diet and made a little shorter, bringing your hand closer up to the bore axis, the grip would get longer. So that right there is, it's a little bit of an optical illusion, I guess you could say. This grip is shorter, mostly because the frame is taller, not including the slide, just the frame. This grip has got more real estate because it's puts you higher to the bore access. I'll try to stack them up and see what they do gun to gun. Set them on the sights, and they are darn near the exact same overall height. So that's one thing I noticed. It's just a different style design gun. I guess the best way I could say, if you measured it from the bore access to the center of the trigger, it's going to be a lot taller on the Sig. The frame is just a lot higher between here to here versus here to here. A lot shorter. I don't have any way to measure it, but if you had them in your hands, you could see it. So anyway, that just eats up some of your grip real estate. Still doesn't answer why there's not a 15 round magazine capacity, or at least 13. But I do like the gun. I'm just kind of shifting some things up. I've had the M&P for quite a while. No complaints. Shoots great. Like to keep it, but there's only so much money and so many guns out there. So anyway, initial reviews, like it. Is it worth $1,400? No, it's not. It's not worth $1,400 at all. That's the MSRP price. I see them for about $1,100 new. Is it worth $1,100? No, it's not. You know, you can buy the M&P or any other. It doesn't have to be an M&P. It's just what I have here in front of you. You can buy a basic gun that shoots good, has good history, good quality. You could add the night sights to it. You could add a couple. This comes with 3 magazines. This originally only comes with 2, but this was a law enforcement deal, so I got 4 magazines with this one. By the time you add night sights and say 2 more magazines to this gun, you're still a far cry from what this thing sells for retail. So I'm not 100% sure if the retail price is worth it. Probably not, which is why I bought this thing used. I got 2 extra magazines, that's 5 total, and I got 2 holsters, and I still paid darn near $400 less than what it retails for without the extras. So I ended up with darn near $100 with the extra magazines, and I'd say $60 to $80 with the holsters. So I got a good deal on it, but it was used, but it was not abused. So it's in really good shape, not a mark on it really, except for the holster wear. So I'm sorry, Sig, it's not worth $1,400. It's not at all. There's a lot of great guns out there that go bang when you pull the trigger, that's accurate, that have higher round counts, that have good ergonomics, that can all do it for, well, almost half the price. So I don't care how good it shoots. It's not worth $1,400. It's not. It's not really worth $1,100. But like I said, the reason I bought it, I got a deal on it used. So that's my initial impressions. So I will shoot it eventually and upload another video. Feel free to put some comments down in there, and I swear to God, if I get a bunch of Glocks are the best damn gun in the world, or a bunch of morons that look like they type with their feet, do not how to type with proper English, I'll just delete your comments. So don't waste time. You know, this is a good simple gun video, just discuss the goods and the bads of my initial impressions. It's not a competition or comparison between anything else. Anyway, having comments or questions, throw them down there. When I finally get to shoot this thing, I'll put up a little bit more of a detailed review of what I think of it after I shoot it. So anyway, appreciate it. Thanks for watching.